What's up? My name is Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back again from Cron 4 Bay Area News. San Francisco Mayor London Breed reflects on her path to politics. This is a little bit of propaganda surrounding Black History Month because she's the first female black mayor in San Francisco history. She is a diversity hire, but in her defense, the previous mayors were no good either, so you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. A real rock and a hard place. That's why California is doomed, but let's see what she has to say.
This morning, we continue to honor Black History Month and those who are making a difference in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. And San Francisco Mayor London Breed is one of them, currently serving as the city's first black female mayor. And she sat down with Cron 4's Noelle Bello to go over what drove her to public service.
Is there ever like a pinch me moment for you?
Every day is a pinch me moment.
First of all, what drove her to public service? This woman has paid about $23,000 in ethics violations, fines, and that's obviously a drop in the bucket. She is the highest paid mayor in the entire country, so $23,000 for admitting what she did wrong is absolutely nothing. And of course, if she's willing to admit that, imagine what she's not admitting to. So for them to put her on a pedestal like she's the first black female, and what led her to public service is the kickbacks. She's just like Kathy Hochul. All of these people are playing the same game. It's absolutely despicable. And then they're still somehow selling it to people who buy this narrative that they're doing some good for their constituents. They're doing some good for a city. San Francisco's worse than it arguably ever was. Like, New York is different, you know? New York was terrible in the 70s and 80s, and then maybe Giuliani came around and cleaned it up, and now it's gone back, you know, it's terrible again. But San Francisco during those times was actually pretty good. I mean, it was a little bit before my time, but when I lived there, it wasn't as bad as what we see today. Yes, it was always a little rough around the edges. There was always a couple of junkies hanging out in the BART station. But now, I mean, they have a poop patrol. There's needles everywhere. There's tent cities everywhere. They can't clean any of that up. They're forcing you to get the shot. You know, they're forcing you to do all of these things that we know now didn't work. They're still hanging on to it. They can't stop the drug trade. Well, again, they don't want to stop the drug trade, but I digress. So for him to frame it like, oh, this brave, beautiful black woman was just drawn to public service. No, she's a scam artist. And she admitted as much. So again, if she's willing to admit that and pay $23,000, imagine what she's actually getting away with. Just imagine.
Because it's not something I thought was possible for someone like me.
Of course, oh no, I'm black. I didn't think it's always the soft bigotry of low expectations. That's what they have, that's what they play. Even as a black woman, she's like, well, I didn't think it was possible. Well, but somehow you made it, right? And then you're gonna tell other people that it isn't possible, and there's some white man sitting in a chair somewhere smoking a cigar that's keeping you from doing it.
Native San Franciscan, raised by her grandmother in the city's Western Addition neighborhood, London Breed is no stranger to San Francisco and its challenges.
Growing up, going to so many funerals of people that I was just hanging out with him, or we were just at this event together. People all around me were.
I was just hanging out with him. She's using now she did date the provably corrupt, who was arrested by the FBI. So again, the completely corrupt FBI got this guy. He must have been doing something really bad, which is the same theory that I'm using with her, right? So she used to date him, and she said, oh, I was just hanging out with him. She's using the Kamala Harris method because she was probably arguably, you know, easy on the eyes 30 years ago.
We're suffering, especially with gun violence and drugs and poverty. And I just thought, why me? Why us?
She would learn to turn those questions into action, seeking out ways to help her community. She started out small, working several odd
I stand corrected. She's always been awful looking
jobs as she grew up.
I mean, I babysat, I cleaned houses, I did things to make a little bit of money. I ran errands for all the older ladies in the projects.
Then at 14, Breed was one of the lucky ones to get a spot in Mayor Willie Brown's youth employment and training program.
And there you have it, the Kamala Harris program. Mayor Willie Brown, surprise, surprise.
where she learned even one or two small actions could create big change.
There was a stoplight in a location in my neighborhood where there was just, traffic would fly through. We would take our life in our hands every time we'd cross the street. And to make something happen like that as an intern, to put a stoplight in this intersection, that was amazing. To get a sidewalk that everyone would trip over, fall over, to get that fixed. I was like, there's a lot of power here. You could actually get some things done.
She would go on to work at the African American Art and Culture Complex.
This is so pathetic, right? Like, it really is just Hollywood. They're all actors. Like, none of this is real. They're laying it on so thick. Like, oh, I got something done. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You are a scam artist from the very beginning. I mean, it's mind-boggling how anybody can look at this and just say, oh, yeah, it sounds good to me. Like, how do you not see through this at this point? I could understand maybe pre-social media when you didn't have a computer in your pocket and you can't look up everything and you can't, really kind of connect the dots, as they say. But now you have to be willfully ignorant to believe that this woman or any of this ilk is doing anything good for somebody besides themselves. Every single one of them.
Spending her days uplifting the youth, some of whom now work in her office. As the city's 45th mayor, Breed says her drive for public service comes from her own past of growing up in public housing.
So a lot of why I decided to do it is, why not me? Why not someone who's lived through really...
She looks like a claymation character or something. Like her face, like she looks weird. Maybe it's just my disdain for her that makes me think she just looks like a weird claymation. Like the way her face moves, there's too much makeup or something strange going on. I don't know.
Challenging times, who could help make or shape the kinds of policies that will hopefully lead to some lasting change.
And you feel you're on that path?
I feel like we're on that path.
All absolute nonsense political platitudes means nothing.
But I got to tell you, it is hard every single day to just move the needle a little bit.
She says this woman took bribes and took gifts from a man who was arrested by the FBI. She was the highest paid mayor in the country and said she took $6,000 to fix her car. None of this makes any sense. Of course, they're not going to ask her about any of this because it's Black History Month and she's the mayor and she's doing such a good job. Meanwhile, the open air drug market and the Tenderloin is taking over. She tried to mention one cause of the problem and they blasted her as racist. None of this makes any sense.
She's prepared for criticism, making sure her health and well-being is top of mind.
I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I take a lot of personal pride in showing up and being there. But I also think it is important to have a balance and to make sure that you don't get so consumed by the job that you don't take a moment to step away. Because
this is exactly, she is walking in Kamala Harris's footsteps, exactly, from getting a job with Willie Brown, an internship or whatever, to talking around in circles about like, I just have to show up and it's all about being there, but also maybe you have to take some time for yourself. It means absolutely nothing. She's talking in circles, but she gets a pass because we're once told that we don't know what a woman is, but now she's a woman. You get where I'm going with this. Like, she gets a pass because of who she is.
I think it makes you better.
Breed remains proud of her tenure so far, specifically her response to COVID-19.
We were able to get rid of the city bureaucracy and process and get down to doing what the people of San Francisco needed and deserved. I wish we could do that with everything.
She says bureaucratic layers make it difficult to address issues San Franciscans are concerned about.
Yeah, bureaucratic, because she knows all about that. She knows she was involved in all sorts of pay-to-play scams. And what's the guy from Lefty O'Doul's and Mohammed Nuru, her ex-boyfriend. She knows all about the bureaucracy. She knows all about the payoff scams. So of course she's pretending like, oh, I wish we could do it. No, it's even like when Donald Trump says that, he used to play the game as when he wasn't a politician, so he knows how it works when he is a politician. She's, been a politician the whole time by way of Willie Brown, and she knows exactly how it works and is pretending that, oh, I wish we could do it differently. Like, you are part of the problem. That's obvious.
But it's not stopping her from trying.
Folks don't want to hear excuses. They want results. You know, we provide so many resources around social services, around treatment on demand.
And none of it works.
Our homeless outreach team, our ambassadors.
No, it's a money laundering scam. You claim that you need all this funding for stuff. A couple pennies drop through to them and the rest goes to you and your homies.
Visitors, our response teams, and alternatives to policing, and I mean just
alternatives to policing. Yeah, okay. You see that? So she's on this defund the police bandwagon. It's all absolute nonsense, and then wonders why the city is falling apart or has fallen apart. It's complete. I mean, it's done. It's cooked.
You name it, it's out there.
As she looks towards the legacy she wants to leave, the mayor highlights her Dreamkeeper initiative, an annual $60 million investment in her budget to support the Black community.
It's a response to the disparities that continue to exist when you look at the data around the homeless population. I mean, San Francisco has, you know, a less than 6% African-American population, but almost 40% of the people who are homeless are Black.
Dreamkeeper offers support for Black-owned businesses and down payment assistance for housing. It's recently led to 19 new Black homeowners in San Francisco.
You know, people say, oh, it's not enough. It's never going to be enough, you know, but at the end of the day, we got to start somewhere. And this investment is a start, and my hope is that it continues to change lives for the better.
She credits her grandmother for being a solid rock for her during challenging times and offers this advice to young people in similar situations.
I would just say that never let your circumstances determine your outcome in life.
In San Francisco, Noelle Bello, Cron 4.
Never let your circumstances determine your outcome in life. Oh my God, so groundbreaking. So this woman who's completely corrupted, she's completely despicable. She is her own human shield. So Joe Biden has surrounded himself with, you know, Kamala Harris and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Karine Jean-Pierre because they are Black women and they cannot be criticized in the world we live in today. She is her own human shield, just like Kamala Harris is a shield for Joe Biden and a shield for herself. So no matter what happens, she cannot be criticized. She's just going to keep talking in platitudes as the city continues to spiral into absolute chaos. I did a story a couple days ago about school in Oakland, so it's not her city, but you know, Oakland has their own woman of color diversity hire mayor that's going to end up just like London Breed as well. But the point is, nothing's ever going to change. It's only going to get worse, in fact, because even when this woman decides that she's going to pinpoint one of the causes of one of the worst problems in San Francisco, the powers that be slam her for being racist. So they always eat their own. As despicable as she is, she tried to do one thing good. They tore her down, and that's how this is going to go. So good luck to San Francisco. Obviously, as always, good luck to New York. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.